Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As we promised, we are going to tackle the concept of volunteering and to tackle this concept in our culture in Egypt and how it developed throughout the years. And recently, it's really occupying such a big position. And this was very clear in many instances, in many events hosted by Egypt. And in fact, our youth did great. To shed more light on this, we are very much delighted to have with us via phone Dr. Maha, Mahgoub, International Labour Organization Counselor and Human Development Expert. Thank you very much for being with us, Dr. Mahgoub.
Thank you. Good morning.
Let's start immediately with a very simple question. Why volunteering is important in the first place?
Yes, volunteering is very important for many reasons. But at the beginning, I would like to shed more light about the history of volunteering, and because of its importance, we celebrate, the whole world celebrate in each December 5th. It is designated by the United Nations since 1989 to celebrate the most countries of the world. As volunteering is very important nowadays. And just to thank volunteers of their efforts. So volunteering is not only good for individuals, community, but it's good for individual physical health and mental and health too. And we have seen before that most of volunteers just engage in civil society, engage in youth forums and conferences, and they have shown huge delegation and huge cooperation between governments, civil societies, organizations, just to do or to achieve the most outcomes for event or something by volunteer work. And just having volunteers to help task projects can save non-profit thousands of dollars instead of paying a lot of money.
This was my coming question, Dr. Maha, regarding the meaning of giving. And because of this, I asked about the meaning of volunteering. Because the meaning of giving, giving your time, your effort can be much more valuable than giving something or giving money or stuff like that. If you agree with me on that, and if you can give me the difference.
Yes, I totally agree with you. And if you would like to just to define what's the meaning of volunteering. Volunteering means that a person who does something, especially helping other people, willing and being he's not forced to do something or not get paid to do that effort. So the person who undertake and express willingness to undertake service, such as participating in events, NGOs, foundations, events, governments, anything, fundraising, even fundraising for NGOs to continue their activities and so on.
Yes, and what's the importance of instilling this concept in the hearts and minds of our youngsters? I mean, to teach or to let our kids, our children know what's the real meaning of volunteering, meaning at schools, in clubs, and to let them practice this when they are that young, to grow up taking into consideration that volunteering is something which should be part and parcel of their personality, of their character. How do you see this, and how we can achieve this on the ground?
Yes, of course. This task relies on two areas, schools and families. So both parties should raise the awareness about the importance of volunteers into their children and how to be engaged with the society, because the person who craves a lot of social interaction, whether individuals or whoever, just to be engaged with the social, and just that, of course, will be reflecting his personality and everything. And of course, schools, parents, they should shed more light about the importance of being engaged in volunteer work, because it will help the students or young youth to meet new friends, to increase social skills. They will have self-esteem. They have to improve their skills, not how to be engaged with society, how to help other people, the less people, poor people. Maybe in the future, maybe they can provide a good job prospect by engaging other people or mentors or something like that. So it's very important just to shed more light and to stress or emphasize the importance of volunteer work from the early beginning of childhood for the children.
This means that volunteering is something which I can learn and I can teach others, or you know, some people are saying that this is inherited, this should be inborn, whether you are born to give or you are not this type of person. The word volunteering or the action of volunteering needs certain characters, certain criteria, or this can be taught to anyone.
Of course, some aspects or some skills are inherited by the personality type and so on. As we mentioned, that the family plays an important role in raising the awareness how to be a volunteer, but the volunteer himself should possess some skills, such as leadership skills, problem-solving skills, organization planning, communication and interpersonal skills, relationship building, monitoring skills, training to others, teamwork, time management, reporting. A lot of skills are needed for raising confidence and self-esteem for volunteers. So they should possess some skills such as what I mentioned, besides the heritage skills or traits of the individual.
Amen to that. Then this should be inherited, but many skills should be learned all over the way to achieve or to acquire these criteria or these very valuable merits of a volunteer. But if you permit me to add to this, I think, in my humble opinion, of course, that if the parents are volunteers themselves, are doing that in front of their children, they can be role models. So the children are going to follow suit even without thinking. True?
Yes, of course, true.
And I mean, have you faced or have you met yourself examples like that in our society?
Yes, of course. Even though I'm working in civil society, I consider myself as a role model to my children, to the others, just to like to behave like me, just participating in social society. And we can call something, it's called, or something, a new terminology called social entrepreneur. People who want to give benefit or to give benefits to the society without gaining a lot of money. It's completely different than business or entrepreneurship or something like that. But just being engaged to the society, how to be a role model, how to guide other people to be volunteers and to get benefit to the society by giving efforts and time to others.
Yes. And Dr. Maha, I think social media now is playing an important role. And whenever there is a piece of news which went viral on social media, this can spread more awareness and can tell the youth more stories and wonderful, successful stories about volunteering and can attract more to join. True?
Yes, of course, true, because the current generation, they believe very well in social media. And sometimes they get information from social media and they don't get it from their parents or grandfather, mother, and so on.
Yes.
So if you'd like to send a quick message to youth how to be a good volunteer, that should be by spreading awareness through social media, Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, and how to send a good message, how to be engaged to the society, how to give benefit to, how to volunteer, how to be benefit, how to give benefit to other people by donating some effort or time, or even if they possess money or something like that, so they can volunteer or donate some money to charities or something like that. And we can see a good model in churches. In churches, they have community service. So people who used to go to church, they have community service. Each people has assignment just to have a community social service to help others, to help the most needed people, just to give them, to guide them for education, giving them food or something like that. So it's a good example for giving and volunteering.
And regarding volunteering, how do you see, first, before going into other topics regarding this very important concept, how do you see the culture of volunteering in specific? I mean, do we have the great value of this concept in our society, or we need to do a lot of homework to achieve this on the ground, to say that volunteering, for example, is ageless? I mean, you can be a volunteer at any age.
Yes, of course. I think nowadays it's the concept of engagement and participating to the civil society has been increased, but it needs more awareness, just to spread the engagement of people together, how to be aligned with other people, how to feel the unity that all people are living together. So that rely on the civil society effort, just giving more awareness sessions, schools, families, universities, doing a lot of activities. So I think all of these are working together in order to increase the awareness and the responsibility of being volunteer and to participate, how to give other people effort and assistance in order to increase the civilization or civilized life for the sake of the state.
Amen to that. Very well said, Dr. Maha. Regarding the era we are living, I mean, our political leadership is very much keen to appreciate volunteers, to appreciate civil societies, to appreciate those who are giving without just waiting for a return.
Yes, yes, of course. Now Egypt and individuals, and if we'd like to calculate the percentage of youth or the Egyptian population, that we can find more than 80% of Egyptian population is under the age of 45. And of course, the majority of our population, they are youth. And that will have to ensure that the future success and progress of Egypt, especially in the light of current political, social, economic status. It's important to create groups of individuals, of volunteers, just to lead them peer culture and educational activities that improve social development and attitude towards Egyptian societies. And of course, it will encourage individuals to participate positively in development of their society. And of course, yes. Yes.
One final question, Dr. Maha. Of course, you are dealing all the time with volunteers and participating in many events hosted by Egypt, whether it's national, international, continental, you name it. Well, what are the most important characteristics or the most important merits of a volunteer? I mean, when you see this person, you would know well that he or she is going to continue on the right path of this concept, to be a volunteer.
Yes, first of all, they have to have the willingness just to be able just to participate. For example, in social media, in NGOs, groups, or something like that, I can find some people, they present themselves that, okay, how can I volunteer? Please guide me to be a good volunteer. What can I do? So it's very important just to have the ability of some people and their willingness to participate in social communities, civil societies, and how to present some efforts and just to dedicate some time of their daily life towards civil society, and how to improve their societies.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Maha Mahgoub, our human development expert, thank you very much for your input. You're always an added value to our programs. Thank you very much. Have a very good day. Well, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Sinai, it comes to a very valuable, dear part to all Egyptians. Sinai all the time has such a special position in our hearts and minds. And our political leadership is keen to follow up all the reconstruction projects, all the developmental projects that are taking place even as we speak around the clock. Now Sinai is free from terrorism. Now Sinai is filled with security and stability. Now Sinai is ready to receive all of us. Well, let's have a quick look at what's going on in the land of turquoise, in Sinai, in this marvelous part of Egypt.
Egypt has set Sinai on the path of real development as it has launched